What is up, homies? Day 5 of the winter bulk coming at you in just a second, but I thought I might try something new. Instead of just recording the video, throwing it on, we go through the workout together, I'm actually going to watch the video back with you, and I'm going to give a few pointers along the way. Plus, selfishly, I can go see where I messed up, and I can improve. So let's jump over to my garage, and let's do this chest and shoulder workout together. We're going to start off with incline chest press, do some tempos, then some shoulder presses, also tempo with the slow negatives, then jump right into lateral raises, alternating iso holds. We'll finish with some push-ups and AMRAP, and then I added in some front shoulder raises. And if you can't read this, neither can I, so don't worry. All right, first set, warm-up set. I was just thinking, I wish I was training arms today with how much food I ate, because the pump would be absolutely disgusting. I'm not going to do any tempos with these warm-ups. I just want to make sure that I get a little bit of blood going in my chest before I do the working sets. So with this being the first exercise, I just wanted to do a couple movements to feel it out. By the way, before I forget, my weigh-in on this morning was 203.8 with a 14.2% body fat. It looks like I added in one tempo at the end of that, but alrighty, here's set 1. So I started with 155. I finished last week with top sets of 155, so it feels really good to be jumping right into that. I want to say I did 4 sets of 155, so and each one of those sets was 7 reps. So I'm sure in my mind here I'm thinking, all right, I got to get at least 7, and tempo looks pretty good. In my head I'm counting down. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, because these are 4 count negative tempos, so this is what they're supposed to be. But the beauty of having this on video as I'm watching it with you is the timer back here exposes me. So it started at 26, 8, 9, 30. Yeah, I mean, that was probably 3.5 seconds. It's not 4, right? But it's pretty close. I got 7, and I think right here I was disappointed, so we'll see what I said. So it's been like a month straight of every week just coming in and moving more weight and seeing that progressive overload. And I think today is the first workout in probably a month for like any movement where I actually don't feel as strong. 1, to the point where I don't really feel like I can push as far, and 2, I actually feel weaker than I did last week. Now some of that is, it's like 4 nights in a row I've slept like absolute crap. But then some of that too is just going to be, I ate a ton this morning, not a lot of great food, and sometimes it's kind of crapshoot. Sometimes it's going to help, sometimes it's not going to. Good for a lift like this, probably should help, but I'm thinking just the sleep has caught up to me. So, right now I just kind of playing that mental game a little bit where it's like, but what I can do is obviously just do my absolute best. If I can fight to match last week, that'd be a huge win, right? Because last week I felt great when I did this movement. If I can match that feeling like crap, that's actually a pretty big win. And if I can't, we'll just do as much work as I can, do the best I can. And as long as I show up each time, each workout, and just do my best, and really what else can I ask for? I'm gonna get better. Yeah, that's the power of consistency. And when you first get into the gym, you're gonna have these almost like beginner gains in really any programming phase. Inevitably, after a month or 2 months, you're going to start hitting some type of plateau. Successful people bust through those plateaus. They just keep showing up because they know they're going to bust through it. Unsuccessful people, they get that plateau and they throw their hands up. And so what I do, I just jump back under the bar. I got another set in, and it was funny. I look like I'm struggling. I was kind of upset that I barely squeaked out my first set of 155 for 7 reps. And then I think on this one, I might have gotten 8. So we'll see. The reps don't lie. So there's 7. These tempos look really good. These are better than the first set even. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I was probably a little fast, but so there's 8. All that talk about feeling weaker and not being able to do it. Fuck it. Did more. That was 8. I'm going to put a 2.5 on and do 160 for the next one. With a full rest time too, I get stronger on these as I go, and you will too, right? So, I don't want you to get this confused where, all right, let's get at least 7.
Yeah, I mean, even though I'm working up, so I'm not trying to like work up to one heavy set, right? I want all of these to be really good working sets, but each one of these I'm probably gonna feel stronger and stronger and stronger until I hit a true failure point. And I actually do this. I had intended to do 5 sets of 6 to 8. On my 4th set, I failed on the last rep. So what I did is I just took a little bit of weight off the bar and I just did max reps without the tempo, and you'll end up seeing that. But yeah, so first set of 155, got 7. Second set, got 8. I'm sure here in my mind I was thinking, oh man, can I get another 8? But it looks like I barely squeaked out 7. Oh man. Still really good tempos though.
Okay, I just sat back and watched my last set, which is one of the beauties of filming, because even if this wasn't for you and I to do this together, I could just be filming these for myself too, so I can watch that form, and it's something that I always recommend to clients. And I watched that last one, and the awesome thing about filming from right here is the timer is right there. So every single rep except for the last 2, I was doing 3 count negatives instead of 4. And in my head, I'm counting to 5, but I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So I'm gonna try to get a little closer to 4 on this next set, because I'm glad I caught that. That said, I barely got that last one, so this could be a set where I get 5, and I'm humbled, but we gotta leave our ego at the door, otherwise we're not gonna ever grow. Right? So many people come in and they'll do a program for a month and they'll actually crush it and they'll create progressive overload, and then when they start hitting that plateau, instead of just owning it and saying, okay, I've hit a small plateau, I'm gonna have to fight through the same weight for a few weeks or maybe even a month or 2, they keep adding weight and their form gets worse, or their tempo gets worse, or they do things just less, and they're not doing the reps in the rep scheme, and that doesn't help. So I'm leaving my ego inside, no ego in the garage. This is a no ego garage. Hashtag no ego garage. And we're going to do the tempo like it's supposed to be done.
Yeah, I love that sentiment right there. That was good. Just knowing that, like, okay, I caught myself. My tempos were quite slow. I'm going to have to slow this down. I'm at what is probably going to be my last set. And, squeaking out 7 or 8 here is going to be really hard. But I still got out of the bar and just adhered to the tempo anyways. I'm really proud of that. Also, I mentioned this last week when we did chest, but think of the bar like it's a stick and you're trying to break it in half while simultaneously pushing up. That pulling apart motion is going to engage your chest even more. So you can see I'm almost thinking of breaking it in half there. Yep, and then right here, I had to make fun of myself with the rep counter. See, I could have kept egoing that out. I did it too long, to be honest, but I just said, you know what? No sense in getting hurt. You don't need to throw your back over this. You can easily just fail. And I just recorded a video on how to fail on this anyways. So I just put it down. I took weight off. I went from 160 to 135, and I just did my 5th set without tempos. Oh, I put this on here. I went to go film it, and I filmed it in slow motion like a doofus, so it wasn't actually this slow. I just wanted to show you and make fun of myself a little bit, so thanks for laughing with me.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Jumping into shoulder press. I don't know why, just lately I've loved doing this off the ground. I mean, you've seen I have a rack. I could easily just rack it, but I just like pulling it up and feeling the weight. I think this is a workout set, and we're not going to go through all the working sets together, but I did do 4 sets of 6 to 8. I did all of them for actually 7 or 8, so I pushed it up, -4 count on the way down, so 1, 2, 3, 4, press up. And I did bump up in weight on this. I did all 105, and then the last one I did 110, so I felt really good with this movement. The beauty of doing these tempos is that when I'm done doing these tempos and I go back to more of a, I don't want to say sped up, but I go to a more normal pace, I'm going to feel like I'm freaking throwing that weight. I'm going to be able to move so much heavier weight after this. Looks like I got one more working set on this. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and skip ahead. There's a better speed. So I filmed up working set 2. We'll go ahead. The next thing I had was lateral raises. So same as last week, actually. the lateral raise with the isometric holds, right? So I hold one side, I do 3 lateral raises, then I hold that and do 3 on the other. This is deceptively brutal. I only had 15 pounds on this, but getting out 3 sets of 8 was tricky. So I did that, and then once I got through these sets, which it takes a while because you're doing 24 lateral raises on each side, so it's just a ton of volume. And while I finish that up, I'm gonna grab my dog because he's literally sitting next to me, so you can say hi to him. Nope, he ran away. You're not saying hi. Come here, buddy. You come say hi? Nope. Maybe next video. I probably should have pressed the fast button on this one too. Come here, you. You want to say hi to the people? He's looking at me like I'm crazy. He's like, Dad, you're in your office. There are not other people here. But for all these sets, then what I did is I grabbed a loop band. I put it under one foot. This is a heavier loop band. This is probably the thickest one I have in the garage. And I just did front raises because I've really hitting those lateral delts, and I wanted to hit the front delts as well. Now with those shoulder presses, as I'm pressing, I've got my elbow more to the front than I do just straight up to the side. It's going to protect my shoulder for one, but it's also going to engage my front delts. So I've already been hitting them, but this will really just finish them off. So I did do 3 sets of these, and they were brutal to say the least. You can see it in my face.
I just hit a lot of raises. I'm adding in these front raises this week. I just want to hit front delts with it as well. I'm going to do 3 sets of each of those, and then I'll jump into push-ups.
I think that was me saying you don't need to watch me do that 3 sets. Oh, last one. Okay, so this is going to be fun. I did a set of AMRAP push-ups. So 4 sets, 30-second rest between each one. I'm not going to lie to you and say these are like the most perfect form push-ups ever. They're probably like 60% of the way there. But yeah, it was just, hey, let's beat last week's numbers, which I think off the top of my head were 42, 20, I think 40, 42, 20, 13, and 12 for the 4 sets. So that's what it was in my head. I've got a little whiteboard there that I wrote it down in. So, and the rule is, because, I mean, it's my workout. I made the rules. I can rest for any amount of time, but I have to stay in a push-up position, and I can put my butt up. That's fine.
Oh, man, I said we're going to beat those.
But if I fail at the bottom, then I'm done, unless I push out of it, but almost no chance I'm going to do that. So you can tell I'm just getting absolutely brutalized. But in my mind, I'm thinking, all right, I got to beat 42, like no matter what. I think this is my 5th week of doing these at this point, and each week I've beat the previous numbers. So, I mean, if I can do that, 50 weeks from now, I'm going to be doing 100, right? I don't know if that's how it's going to work, but we're going to keep trying. So it's a 30-second rest. I don't think I'm going to make you watch that whole thing. Let's see if I can find like a funny transition to put in here.
It's only getting harder. The number's going down.
Here you go.
But this is getting harder.
A few moments later.
I had to. Sorry. All right, let's see what we got. So last week I got 20. Am I getting over or under? Let's find out. I know the answer because I just did this. It's not a good sign when I'm only 8 in and I'm feeling. I think in my head I'm saying to myself 20. That's not happening. I also know that my last week with those numbers, I really gave up. I really sacrificed on the form to hit those, and this week the form was actually better, and I was getting deeper on them. So, not that it's perfect. I'm not saying these are like perfect strict push-ups by any stretch, but I feel pretty good about these, at least comparatively. Come on, Trevor. Come on. 2 more.
Sad. I was getting 21.
So I gotta get 22 next week, huh?
That was ugly.
6.5 hours later.
Okay, it was really 30 seconds, but I just had to. Yeah, in my head I was thinking, all right, this form needs to be better. So the number to beat here was 13, I want to say. It was 13 and then 12 for the last 2 last week. So, if I'm doing full pauses halfway there, I'm in trouble. Snuck out a set of 3 there, though. That was good. A little mini set. Now if I can just get 1 or 2 doubles, that'd be good. That's 13. And that's 14. So I love here how I didn't just say, okay, I beat it. Now I'm going to stop. I really did. I was in my head, I was thinking, I'm going to get as many as I can. And that was as many as I can. One more set.
16.
One eternity later.
No, it was really 30 seconds, I promise. The number to be here was 12. I think in my head I was trying to get halfway there. Yeah, exactly. Man, I think I got it. There it is. As while I wrap this up, let me know, because this is obviously the 5th video of the winter bulk. What were your thoughts on this format of me kind of watching it back with you? It obviously took me a lot more time, but if it was valuable to you, if this is something that was helpful or that you enjoyed, let me know in the comments. Because if it wasn't, I probably won't spend the effort, because this took me about a half day to put together. So
That's it. That's a wrap.